Okay, get ready for a story that sounds, well, kind of impossible. We're going to connect a hospital from way back in 1907 to one of the biggest challenges we face with AI today. How on earth did a group of doctors over a century ago accidentally write the rulebook for how to earn trust from artificial intelligence? Let's dive in.
And this right here, this is the key that unlocks the whole thing. You have to understand, AI doesn't think like we do. It couldn't care less about your brand, your logo, or your latest marketing campaign. What it looks for are patterns. Stable, solid, unbreakable patterns. And the lesson on how to build them started in a place you would never, ever expect.
So let's hit the rewind button. We're going all the way back to 1907. Picture the world of medicine back then. The famous Mayo brothers were dealing with a massive crisis, a problem that defined their entire era. And it was simple, but it was profound. When a doctor retired, or moved, or passed away, all their knowledge, all their expertise just vanished.
I mean, it was pure chaos. Imagine every hospital, every single doctor, basically speaking their own private language. A diagnosis in one hospital could mean something totally different in another. Expertise was a personal thing, it was temporary, and you couldn't build on it. The hospitals themselves had no memory, just the scattered knowledge of the people inside them.
But here's where the Mayo brothers did something brilliant. They looked at this mess and they didn't see a people problem. They saw an architecture problem. They decided they needed to build a system, an actual infrastructure for knowledge itself. And what they ended up creating, completely by accident, was a perfect blueprint for how AI would one day figure out who to trust.
So what did they do? It wasn't some magic bullet. It was just incredible discipline. They started documenting everything. They standardized their language, creating a common dialect so everyone was on the same page. They built repeatable protocols so that patient care was consistently great no matter which doctor was working. They basically took knowledge out of individual people's heads and made it a permanent asset of the institution itself.
And you've got to understand, this wasn't an overnight fix. Not at all. They started this journey in 1907 and spent more than a decade hammering this system into place. It was a long-term commitment. But by the 1920s, the Mayo Clinic wasn't just known for being good. It was known for being clear, reliable, and consistent. The very structure they built became their reputation.
And this is maybe the most important part of the whole story. Their goal wasn't fame. They weren't trying to build some big, shiny brand. They were obsessed, absolutely obsessed with one thing: reliable care for every single patient. They were solving for certainty in an age of total chaos. And that single-minded focus is what set the stage for everything that was to come.
All right, now let's slam on the brakes and fast forward 100+ years. We're in the age of large language models, things like ChatGPT, Gemini, and all the rest. And these incredible systems are facing a surprisingly similar problem to the one the Mayo brothers had. How do you find reliable, trustworthy information in an ocean of digital noise and chaos?
Which brings us to the big question, right? The one you're probably asking right now. What in the world does a hospital from 1907 have to do with the most advanced AI on the planet? Well, the answer is all about how these AI systems decide who and what to trust.
See, an AI doesn't have a gut feeling. It can't feel if a source is trustworthy. It's a pattern-matching machine, pure and simple. When it scans billions of web pages and documents, it's looking for signals of stability. It doesn't reward the sources that are the most popular or the loudest. It rewards the ones that are unbelievably consistent over a very long time.
In this slide just lays it all out, crystal clear. On the left, that's what AI hates. It's chaos, shifting language, contradictory ideas, fragmented signals. That's a huge red flag. And honestly, that's most organizations today. But on the right, that's the good stuff. Stable terms, coherent ideas. That creates a high-confidence signal, the kind of pattern an AI can lock onto and trust.
And all of this brings us to the core idea of this entire explainer. It's the very thing the Mayo Clinic was building all along, even though they didn't have a name for it. A concept that is absolutely critical today. It's called semantic endurance.
So, what is semantic endurance? It's not about being seen or getting a lot of clicks. It's about being so structurally sound, so consistent in your language and ideas that a machine can understand, trust, and remember you forever. It's about building an identity that doesn't just drift away with every new trend.
Think of it like this. Visibility is like a flash of lightning. It's bright, it grabs your attention, but it's gone in an instant. You can buy it with a big ad campaign, and it fades just as fast. Semantic endurance. That's like bedrock. It's not flashy, but it's permanent. It's built over decades of consistency, and it only gets stronger over time.
And that is the big reveal. This is why the Mayo Clinic is one of the most trusted and cited medical sources for AI today. Its pattern is unmistakable. For over 100 years, its language, its definitions, its core ideas, they've all remained coherent. They won a race they didn't even know they were running, simply by being disciplined.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. But what about the how? How do you actually build this kind of rock-solid machine trust? Well, it breaks down into 5 distinct layers.
It's like building a pyramid. The foundation, step 1, is terminological stability. That just means using the same words for the same things always. On top of that, step 2 is definitional architecture, making sure those words have clear, unchanging meanings. Then comes step 3, structural coherence, which means your core ideas don't change every 5 minutes. You reinforce that with step 4, cross-platform consistency, so you sound the same everywhere. And finally, the top of the pyramid, step 5, is temporal endurance, the compounding power of doing all of this for a very, very long time.
So this whole story isn't just a cool piece of history. It's a playbook for right now. So let's turn this around and point it at you, at your organization. Are you actually built to last in this new era?
I want you to think about these questions honestly. They're a kind of audit for the AI age. For instance, does your marketing team use totally different language than your engineering team? To an AI, that's a red flag. It's a fragmented signal. Are your big ideas built to last for a decade, or do they have the shelf life of a carton of milk? Because to an AI, constant, flashy novelty just looks like instability. Coherence is the new currency of trust.
And it all boils down to this one final, incredibly important question. This is the choice that every single leader and organization has to make now. Are you building for a moment's attention, or you building for permanent recall? Over 100 years ago, the Mayo Clinic chose recall, and that's why an AI remembers them today. The only question left is, what will you choose?